What? Using a plastic bag as a hat made her suffocate. Looks like a new fashion trend and not a fingerprint in sight. The craziest part. The handcuff key was found in her belly. Everyone at dinner thought David was nuts for making her swallow the key. At this moment, Bessie saw a cowboy straight from a movie. David told Bessie this the next day during the interview. This murder technique is a fancy name, secret police method. With your mouth sealed and a plastic bag on your head, you suffocate awake water. This is exactly the secret police's interrogation method. But if the bag tears at the last moment, y'all get a second chance, otherwise, y'all experience suffocation firsthand. Your freedom key is right inside your own belly. Yep, that's a foolproof interrogation method. David mentioned it in an article, but too bad the cops missed it. Subtitles: Has anyone deceived you? David's case is more complex, he claimed, being framed, and continued. The tripod left at the crime scene basically says, before you kick the bucket, y'all realize your freedom key is outside. He believed the real killer recorded everything, but Bessie was doubtful. Yet David's words started making him flash back to years ago. After the female student withdrew her case, David walked out of the holding cell, but his reputation was already in the dumpster. The wife finally had an excuse to divorce him and snagged custody of their son. Things were about to get messy at home. He may be a doormat. David turned into a pro-drunkard, was expelled from school, and struggled to find work. He's always drunk and willing to spend. His ex-wife borrows their son from his calls. A lawyer friend urged him to quit and shape up. He even joined some sobriety group, but his friendship with Xiaomai was still on fire. They were both champions against the death penalty. Time passed, his ex-students feared him, the anti-death penalty group avoided him, and his ex borrowed their son from his calls. He had few true friends left. One day, drunk and chatting with Xiaomai, he saw her faint. David panicked and rushed her to the hospital. Subtitles: Xiaomai had leukemia but never told David. Back to reality, David was despondent in prison. Maybe that's why Xiaomai always opposed the death penalty. She had no hope to live, so she wanted to keep others alive. Xiaomai hoped for a better world. What a sweet soul. By the end of the interview the next day, Bessie seemed to have started trusting David. The intern reporter found some leads. Turns out David had a chance for clemency, but his lawyer totally botched it. A super lawyer once offered to defend him, but was stopped by David's friend. The $500,000 interview fee was arriving, to be given to the lawyer tomorrow. Bessie found his door wide open, and a tape was hanging in the room. After a moment of fright, Bessie quickly came to his sense. This content had to be related to the case. He pulled his assistant, then turned on the TV, only to find the live scene of Con's murder, so different from watching a completely naked person lying on the floor, desperately struggling. The scene shook them to their core. Afterwards, Bessie changed completely and sobbed on her assistant's shoulder. That moment, he felt unprecedented panic, helplessness, and regret for life fading. After that night, Bessie found the case increasingly suspicious. A door pried open at midnight, a mysterious tape, and the repeated appearance of the pickup truck during the investigation. His assistant started raising questions. David isn't dead yet. Why would the killer release the tape now? It's totally illogical. Bessie had his own theories on this. He believed that to completely destroy someone, it wasn't enough to just end their life. Psychological destruction was key. The tape was basically Con's key. The killer wanted David to know that the evidence to freedom was out there, but execution day had come no matter if he got the tape. This was a mind game. After leaving the restaurant, Bessie hurried to find David's attorney to see if there was any chance for clemency. But the lawyer just shook his head. There wasn't a second person in the tape, so it proved nothing. This house was now a tourist hotspot. Anyone could film a tape like that. Looking at the lawyer's carefree attitude, Bessie felt David's plight. If only he had picked a more reliable lawyer back then, he might have had a lifeline. Just then, the woman realized she forgot her coat and hurried back to their office, only to find that the pickup truck driver who was tracking her was also here, raising her suspicions. She immediately found her assistant and told him to follow that cowboy hat guy to figure out who he was. There were just 2 cars on this, but the cowboy wasn't dumb. He easily ditched the assistant following him. That was a close call. Meanwhile, Bessie took a taxi to the prison for his last interview. This chat was crucial. The woman wasted no time asking who the cowboy was. David said he was the follower of Con's he had mentioned earlier. Subtitles: His name is Datis. He also made an appearance at the trial, delivering unpleasant testimonies that went against David. David stated that we need to trace back 6 years to understand this. 6 years ago, Con's got leukemia, his health worsened, yet he bravely fought against the death penalty. He believed the proportion of black inmates on death row was way higher than that of whites, making it hard not to question the cops' fairness. Many of those were wrongfully imprisoned, while some were led astray due to their family situations. For instance, he was trying to save a black girl that day who clearly had been over-sentenced. But, as usual, things didn't go as planned, and she ultimately failed. This plunged Cons into despair and self-doubt, considering leukemia patients should never get too worked up. At night, David visited him, listening to his life complaints. David had done so much in pursuit of his ideals that even his basic needs were hard to meet. Hearing this, David extended his warm hand, wanting to make up for his friend's regrets that night. That night, David was careful and gentle, yet Cons still cried uncontrollably. Subtitle: It seemed not real in German, but completing a ritual, with the pickup waiting quietly beneath the window. The next day, as David left, Daddies entered. No one knew what happened in between, only that David was arrested by police that night. So, subscribe to my channel for more thrilling stories.